Hello friends. Today we will see the organization of chromosome in eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells differ in a number of aspects. The presence of a well-defined nucleus is the main feature that distinguishes a eukaryotic cell from a prokaryotic one. Nucleus acts as the cell's control center and the genetic information is packed there. In nucleus, DNA replication, transcription, RNA processing, etc. will take place, and only the late stages of translation is taking place in the cytoplasm of the cell. Today, we will see the eukaryotic chromosome organization in detail. So let us move on to the video. A typical eukaryotic cell has a size ranging between 10 to 20 microns. The nucleus is much smaller than the cell. It is having a size between 2 to 10 micron. But if we cut open a human eukaryotic cell and stretch the DNA that is embedded in the chromosome of the nucleus, it measures up to 2 meters or 6.5 feet. Then how this long stretch of DNA is accommodated in such a tiny nucleus of the eukaryotic cell. The double-stranded DNA has to undergo different levels of packing so that its length is reduced from meters to centimeters and then to nanometers. Then only it will be accommodated within the tiny nucleus of the eukaryotic cell. First, let us see the structure of a eukaryotic nucleus. Eukaryotic nucleus has nuclear membrane, chromatin, and nucleolus, which is the most prominent structure in nucleus. Nucleolus are cells' ribosome factories. Chromatin, RNA, and nuclear proteins move freely in aqueous solutions in the nucleus. In prokaryotes, usually a single chromosome is present per cell in the form of covalently closed circular DNA. They also contain extra chromosomal DNA called plasmids. But in eukaryotes, several chromosomes are present per cell. It may range from 2 to many. Here also extra chromosomal DNA is found in mitochondria and also in the chloroplast. Amount of chromosome in eukaryotic cells is much more than a prokaryotic cell. A human cell contains DNA more than 1,000 times in E. coli. Each eukaryotic species has a characteristic number of chromosomes. In human beings, 46 chromosomes are seen. That means 23 pairs of chromosome. And the haploid set or half number is derived from the egg or from the mother, and the other half is derived from the sperm or from the father. Eukaryotic chromosomes usually exist as single, unbroken, double-stranded stretch of DNA that is running throughout the length of the chromosome. And the chromosomes are not always well defined in a cell. They are very prominent just before the cell division. The amount of DNA that is present in the haploid genome of a species is known as the species C value. In other words, it is the amount of DNA that is present in the haploid genome of the gametic cells, or it is half the amount of DNA that is present in the diploid genome of the normal somatic cells. C value or the amount of DNA varies widely among different species. Genome size has no relation with the complexity of an organism. For example, C value of human beings is 3.4 into 10 raised to 6 kilobase, whereas C value of amoebae is 6.7 into 10 raised to 8. That means C value has no connection with the structural or organizational complexity of an eukaryotic organism. Similarly, C value does not indicate relatedness or evolutionary relationship between the organisms. There may or may not be variation in C value of related species. This situation is called C value paradox. The reason for this is the occurrence of different amounts of repetitive sequences in the genome of eukaryotic cells. We all know that the eukaryotic cell passes through four phases known as G1 phase, S phase, G2 phase and the M phase. The G1 phase is otherwise called the first gap phase, but it is actually the growth phase during which the cells increase in their size, the organelles are copied, and also the molecular building blocks required for the later stages are synthesized. During S phase, which is otherwise known as the synthesis phase, the complete DNA that is present in the nucleus is doubled. During the second gap phase, the cell or the G2 phase, the cells again increase in their size, the organelles are copied, and the cells will rearrange as a preparation to the next phase, that is the mitotic phase. Interphase is the time between two mitotic divisions. As mitosis begins, the G2 phase stops. The mitosis has got four phases like prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Mitosis is followed by cytokinesis, and the parent cell gets divided into two daughter cells. During G1 phase, the chromosome is single, but during the S phase, the duplication of the DNA is taking place and two sister chromatids are formed, which will be held together by the region which is known as centromere. Chromosome exists in the same phase as stage also in the G2 phase. Thus, in mitotic phase, two daughter chromosomes are formed from the sister chromatids. As we already mentioned, chromosomes are not always well defined in a eukaryotic cell. It is least organized during the G1 phase of the cell cycle, and it is more organized just before the cell division, that is usually in the metaphase. So in G1 phase, chromosome exists as one linear double-stranded DNA molecule, and this DNA is coupled with some amount of protein. The amount of protein is always twice the amount of DNA. As the cell reaches the S phase, the chromosome is duplicated. Thus, two sister chromatids are formed. So each sister chromatid is having one linear double-stranded DNA running the length of each chromatid. The DNA and proteins together are known as the chromatins. So chromatins are the stainable structures in the eukaryotic nucleus. The structure of chromatin is identical in all eukaryotic cells. So before going into the levels of packing in the DNA, let us see the structure of chromatin. Chromatin is coupled with two types of proteins which are called histones and non-histones. Both these proteins play a very crucial role in the physical structure of the chromosomes. The major proteins are known as histones, and they are the most abundant proteins. They are basic proteins, means they are having a positive charge. They are having abundant amount of arginine and lysine, that is giving it a positive charge. So they can easily bind to the negatively charged DNA. There are 5 types of histones, namely H1, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. Amount of histone is equal to the amount of DNA in chromatin. But we said the DNA is coupled with double amount of proteins. So the remaining half portion of the protein is constituted of non-histone proteins. Among the 5 different types of histones, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4 amino acid sequences are very similar and are highly conserved between even distantly related species. H3 and H4 are among the most conserved proteins. H2A and H2B show slight species-specific variations in the sequence. That means these four histones are playing very important role in eukaryotes in the organization of DNA in chromosomes. As we have already seen, the length of DNA from a single human cell is more than 2 meters or 6.5 feet. That is almost 700 times greater than the nucleic acid of E. coli. So the chromatin has to undergo several levels of packing so that it can get accommodated into the nucleus of the eukaryotic cells. Histones play a very important role in chromatin packing. All proteins associated with DNA except the histones are considered as the non-histone proteins. For example, proteins that bind to DNA during DNA replication, repair, transcription, gene regulation, recombination, etc. are considered as non-histone proteins. We said the histones are positively charged and they can easily bind to DNA. Here, the non-histone proteins are having a negative charge, hence they will bind to the positive histones. Each eukaryotic cell will be having different type of non-histones. Non-histones differ in their number and type from cell to cell in the same organism. They also differ at times in the same cell because it will depend upon the type of process that is taking place inside the nucleus. The non-histone proteins amount also differ from organism to organism. Now coming to levels of packing in chromatin. As we already mentioned, the chromosome is not well organized throughout the life of a cell. It is least organized during the G1 phase and it is most organized just before the cell division in the metaphase. So the chromatin structure differs in different stages of the life cycle. It is least compact during the G1 phase and most compact in the meta phase. The least compact structure of the chromatin is known as 10 nanometer chromatin fiber. Morphologically, this 10 nanometer chromatin fiber resembles beads on a string. The diameter of these beads are 10 nanometer and it forms the core part of the nucleosomes. So the bead-like region is wound around by the string of DNA. This structure is known as nucleosome. We said the core is having a diameter of 10 nanometer that is wound around by DNA. So the total diameter of the nucleosome becomes 11 nanometer. Now, the bead-like core region consists of 8 histone molecules. Here we can see it in the diagram. 2 each of H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. Also, they are called the core histones. It is forming an octamer. This core region is surrounded by DNA of 147 base pair length wound around by 1.65 times. This arrangement makes the linear DNA compact by a factor of about 6. Thus, nucleosome formation is considered as the first level of chromatin packing. In other words, 10 nanometer chromatin fiber formation is the first level of chromatin packing. Strands of DNA between the nucleosomes are called the linker DNA. Means two nucleosomes are connected by linker DNA strands. Amount of linker DNA is not constant within and among organisms. In humans, linker DNA may range between 38 to 53 base pair. A single nucleosome is consisting of one octamer of core histones. Then the DNA that is wound around this single histone core plus one linker DNA. The length of DNA that is wound around each histone core is 147 base pair. We said the amount of linker DNA is not constant. It may range between 38 to 53 base pair. So the amount of DNA per nucleosome may range between 185 to 200 base pair. That is 147 plus 38, that is 185. Or it may become up to 53 plus 147, that is 200 base pair. So the variation in this amount is due to the variation in the amount of linker DNA. Now coming to the second level of packing, which is known as solenoid fiber formation. In the first level of chromatin condensation or in nucleosome formation, only 4 types of histones were involved. We had already seen that there are 5 types of histones. The histones that were involved in nucleosome formation were H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. But H1 was not involved there. The second level of condensation is usually brought about by the H1 histones. H1 histones are larger than other histones. H1 histones bind to the linker DNA at one end of the nucleosome and to the middle of DNA segment around histone core. The nucleosome core plus the H1 histone is known as the chromatosome. So binding of these H1 histones makes the 10 nanometer chromatin fiber little more compact. This compact structure twists helically and becomes a regular pattern with 6 nucleosomes per turn with a diameter of 30 nanometer. So from 10 nanometer, it has become little compact by the binding of the H1 histone, and further by the helical twisting, it will reach a diameter of 30 nanometer. That is why it is known as the 30 nanometer chromatin fiber or the solenoid model. Thus, the thickness of DNA is increasing at the progressing levels of packing. At the same time, the length of the DNA is considerably decreased. Solenoid fiber is seen in the interface of the cell cycle. We said in the case of 10 nanometer chromatin fiber, the DNA is condensed by a factor of 6. Here, the 30 nanometer chromatin fiber formation again reduces the length of DNA by a factor of approximately 40 times. So the first level of chromatin condensation was the formation of 10 nanometer chromatin fiber or the nucleosome. The second level was the formation of the solenoid fiber or the 30 nanometer chromatin fiber. The next level of chromosome condensation is by the formation of chromosome scaffold. The exact mechanism behind it is not clearly understood. Non-histone proteins are mainly involved in the scaffold formation. In the first 2 levels of packing, the histones were involved. In the first level of packing, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4 were involved, and in the second level of packing, H1 histones were involved. But in the chromosome scaffold formation, the non-histones are involved. Non-histone proteins bind to 30 nanometer chromatin fiber to form chromatin loops of 30 to 90 kilobase long DNA. It is shown here in the above diagram. 180 to 300 nucleosomes are usually present in a single loop. In humans, around 2000 such looped domains are present. The stretches of DNA that bind to the non-histone proteins to form the loop are called the scaffold associated regions. These chromatin loops attach spirally around another structure which is known as chromosome scaffold. Chromosome scaffold is again a non-histone protein region. And around this chromosome scaffold, the loops will form rosettes of chromatin. Around 15 loops are present per turn. This makes the chromosome now 10,000 times shorter and 400 times thicker than the naked DNA. The naked double-stranded DNA is having a diameter of 2 nanometer, but it is having a length of more than 2 meter. By the first condensation process, as it becomes the nucleosomes or the 10 nanometer chromatin fiber, we had seen that its diameter is becoming 11 nanometer. In the second level of condensation, that is during the solenoid fiber formation, the solenoid fiber is having a diameter of 30 nanometer. So at each level of condensation, the DNA is becoming thicker but shorter in its size. Once the loop formation is complete, the diameter of the DNA is 300 nanometer. So from 30 nanometer, it has increased to 300 nanometer. The chromosome scaffold is surrounded by the rosettes of chromatin loops. Now the diameter of the chromosome is 700 nanometer. We said the chromosome is in the most condensed state in the metaphase. During the metaphase, the chromosome is existing as two sister chromatids. So the diameter is 700 plus 700. So at this stage, the diameter of the chromosome is 1400 nanometer. So from 10 nanometer, we have reached up to 1400 nanometer. That means the DNA has become very much shorter, but the diameter has increased considerably. Such 46 chromosomes are packed within that tiny eukaryotic nucleus. So let us summarize. The chromosomes are made up of DNA. In eukaryotic cells, in chromosomes, the DNA exists as single, unsegmented, linear, double-stranded DNA molecule. The DNA is coupled with a double amount of proteins. These proteins are called histones and non-histones. The protein plus DNA is known as the chromatin. This chromatin is undergoing different levels of condensation to get packed into the nucleus of a eukaryotic cell. The first level of chromatin condensation is the formation of 10 nanometer chromatin fiber. The second level of chromatin condensation is known as the solenoid fiber or the 30 nanometer chromatin fiber. It is brought about by the H1 histones. Third level of chromatin condensation is the chromosome scaffold formation. This is brought about by the non-histones. Chromatin loops are helically arranged over this chromosome scaffold to form the rosettes of chromatin loops. Thus, the diameter of the DNA is changing from 2 nanometer to 1400 nanometer. So it is considerably reduced in its length, but it has become very much thicker and condensed, and it can be easily accommodated into the nucleus of the eukaryotic cell. So with that, I am winding up my session on eukaryotic chromosome organization. Thanks for watching. See you soon with another topic. Till then, goodbye.